Hi, John Veely, CEO of Online Visas. Welcome back today for another episode, our third, of immigration and the COVID-19 pandemic, the coronavirus. Hope you're doing well today. If you're not sheltering in place or locked in or put on house arrest or whatever your state or city may be calling it right now. Ours just gave us a notice yesterday at about 5 o'clock p.m. that we're locked down. Now, for our firm, we're still open. We're, as a law firm, an essential company, but in an abundance of caution and in the right thing to do, we're letting everybody work from home. So if you're a client of ours and you need to get in contact with us, please email us, call us, those sort of things. We've actually, we're instituting a policy with a phone number. Once you call our regular number, it's going to go out to all of us, and we'll be able to get back to you. We do a lot of stuff here because we have an online platform as well. We do a lot of things with WhatsApp, Skype, GoToMeeting. That way we can do online conversations, kind of like right now, except both of us will be able to see each other and document, looking at documents together and sharing things and stuff like that. So we're going to be here throughout this process. As you know, immigration's a long-term thing. A few months being down for immigration is just a drop in the bucket of really how long most of these processes take anyway. So again, we're here to talk about how COVID-19 and the coronavirus is affecting immigration. Got some more information to go over this. So I'll go over some of that. So the alert from USCIS. Now, if you want to follow this stuff, you can go to our website, onlinevisas.com. We're going to be putting daily updates. We'll be putting these videos here. Matter of fact, all these videos are being uploaded to YouTube and going to be on our onlinevisas.com YouTube channel. Please subscribe and like that. We had a huge number of people join and do that recently, and we appreciate that. Right now, it's an important time, and we want to make sure that that we're getting this information out to you that's real and helpful. So at USCIS's website, you can look for that, or look for COVID-19 or coronavirus disease. They have some alerts. Again, we've talked about some of this before, but they've suspended routine in-person services. That means for field offices, if you're going in for a marriage interview or your naturalization case, then that's going to be suspended for a while. There are emergency scenarios that you can get in, and you can click on those sites to do that, or contact us or your immigration attorney to help you with that. They've even got a number of different links that will help give you more information. So check out uscis.gov. Some really interesting articles I've been finding online. Get this off of here. Looks like we got some great people coming in. Great to see some friends. Dion Anderson from South Africa. Sheldon Fernandez had a number of questions for us. Sheldon is an O1 visa holder from the Bay Area, a really extraordinary ability techie. I mean, he's done some amazing things, lots of patents. He's worried what's going to happen to him with his pending case. And a couple of points to tell you about that before I go into this article. If you have a case and you submit a pending application and it's for the same visa and the same employer, you stay in status for either till the decision's been made, which can be an approval or a denial, or 240 days, whichever comes first, right? So you're not out of status if that's happening. Now, what if that 240 days comes because immigration's really slow? Like, we know their premium processing doesn't exist right now, and you know, these things can take a while. We're hopeful that immigration will do some things to not punish everybody that's been put in a situation because the government put them in that situation. Now, immigration is not above doing that. We've seen them do it before, but we're hopeful in this sort of situation and stuff like that. Good to see Paul Riddle, the goats out there. Wilson Curtis, nice to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Rachio Santana, hello. How are you guys doing? So back to this article. COVID-19 upends U.S. immigration by Roy Maurer. And this one talks about a number of things. And this is from SHRM. SHRM is the Society of Human Resource Managers. Human resource managers deal with immigration all the time. SHRM is a fantastic organization, and they deal with this. So there's a number of different things that SHRM has brought up. Falling out of status, as we just talked about, is one of them. So maintaining legal status includes the timely submission of an application or petition requesting an extension of status before it expires. Paparelli says. Paparelli is who they're quoting here. If the extension request is untimely filed, perhaps for reasons related to COVID, the employer or worker should explain why the restoration of status should be granted based on extraordinary circumstances, or why a lapse in status should not deprive the individual of eligibility or for adjustment of status receive a green card under the forgiveness clause. All right, so that's the issue right there. There's these kind of broad clauses that we can use to talk about that. Now, what can you do if you are falling out of status because your company's laying you off, or you're a company and you're laying people off? You don't want to do this, right? Paper it up. All right, it's all going to be about proof. It's all going to be on a case-by-case basis. So if you have to let somebody go, or if you're being let go, get a document, right? Make sure that document says something to the extent it's a reason this person's not working anymore is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. If you need some help with that language, contact us. You can email me, jon@vlielaw.com. That's V as in Victor, ELIELAW.com. Go to our website, onlinevisas.com. Look for these updates. Contact us through there. We have a chat line. You can call us. Like I said, we're open. We'll help you with that language. We'll help you through that process if that happens. But really paper this things up. If you've gone to the doctor, whether or not you tested positive or negative, you went to the doctor, keep those doctor records and have all that available. When the thing blows over and it's done down the road and these things happen, people may not be as sympathetic as they would be today. Remember that. So make sure everything is covered in that. All sorts of things in here that are pretty important. I'll gloss through that though, and we'll go a little bit farther. Travel bans, this is an issue. The White House proclamation prohibits any foreign nationals, not just Europeans, from entering the United States if they've been in the Schengen area for 14 days before their attempted entry. Schengen is most of Europe. For example, explicitly, it's Austria, Belgium, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, and the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. The United Kingdom and Ireland were later added to the ban. They were excluded before. So not only if you're from that country would you have difficulty coming in, but if you've been to those countries, right? So these are real live problems that people are going through right now. Going back to their countries, a number of countries are locked down. Just talked to some clients in India. They're completely locked down right now, as you might imagine, 1 billion people in that sort of situations. But we have differing things that we're doing in America. My friends in Dallas, one person at a time can go out. This is on a case-by-case basis. Really, our hearts are out for our friends in New York. That place is getting slammed. So right now we're seeing, if you're following on social media, some people going, do you know anybody that has this? Is this really a problem? Really depends on where you're at. I mean, so one of the things I would say is err for caution. You don't want to get sick. You don't want to get other people sick, especially our doctors. They're in there working hard. They have to go to work. Now, there's a number of places that are going to work too. Like I said, as a law firm, we're essential. So we can come in, but ours has some parameters if we're doing something that's important to deal with deadlines and things like that. So we're not letting people come up unless they absolutely have to. Got other clients, Glenn Yates and Colt Construction. Those guys build homes, right? So their workers are still going, at least so far. They're in numerous states around the country. It's going to be a state-by-state basis for that. And we're dealing with two things, right? We're dealing with not only this historic virus that, who knows what's going to happen in the next week to 10 days. I mean, right now, for a lot of it's we're sitting in place prepping for this that hasn't really hit us closely. But if you're looking at what's happening in Europe, if you're looking at what's happening in New York, it's happening now. We may be a week behind that. We may be 10 days behind that. But if folks are in hospitals that are overcrowded and sleeping in the hallways and coughing all the time, that's a tough thing. So assume that will happen and be safe. All right. So, ironically, it's a beautiful spring day where I'm at. You can go outside, you can hike. They're telling us to keep the social distancing if you're going to do that. You can jog, all those sort of things, but just be careful in those sort of ways. Also, we're looking at the stimulus bill that may be passed here. We're a small business. We don't know what's going to happen. Apparently, there will be loans. I've been looking into this, so if this is helpful for you, I guess listen a little bit. So right now there's FEMA disaster relief, like SBA disaster relief. That's not what they're talking about, right? That's a loan, and loans are good. They keep you in business. But one of the things they're going to talk about in the stimulus package is loans for us to keep our people employed. This is very, very important to me. We want to keep everybody we have employed if we can, and keep it open. Now, that's for a lot of reasons. Number one, so we'll have a job and a company to come back to when this is over. Number two, then they don't have to stand in unemployment lines. They don't have to that sort of thing. We can keep them paid. And in those circumstances, there's discussion about the government paying us back or forgiving our loans, right? So I don't know what that's going to be yet. I talked to some people at the SBA. I think that's a 7A loan. I don't know that yet. There's some people out there that have some great information on that. If you want more information about that, private message me and I'll put you in touch with the people we're talking to. I'm no expert on that, by the way. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm not here about SBA loans, except that my business may need them. Yours might too, but that sort of situation. I don't know anything about the $500 billion, who that's going to be allocated to. Apparently, half of the employees in America are in the big businesses. And maybe they'll get some use out of that. Maybe we will too. We don't know any of that. So right now, our elected representatives are debating those things, and hopefully they'll get to an answer, and a smart answer soon, and that'll be interesting. Other things we're seeing, resources for immigrants on the COVID-19 virus. There's a place called One America that has a website both in English and Spanish, and it's pretty interesting. They've got COVID-19 public health recommendations. This is out of Washington, so they have all sorts of things, state and county things. And I think if you need that sort of help, go online. Look for the resources of what can you do to stay healthy, to maybe get some money during this time for your company or for yourself. There's a lot of resources out there on immigration. Again, we're going to be grabbing some of this stuff and putting it up online for you to check out at onlinevisas.com. That's important. Couple things that I wanted to bring to your attention that you may not be thinking of. This deal with people being held in the detention centers is about to become a big mess. There's a couple of articles I just read. Who's this one by? I think it's Forbes. Immigrant detainees are sitting on a COVID-19 time bomb. First infection reported, right? And so the first infection has happened in the Bergen County Jail, and I think we're going to see a lot of that. ICE facilities and stuff like that. Dangerous for those being detained, obviously, the people working in those facilities. We've heard all sorts of reports about, those conditions not being the most sanitary. I think that's the nicest way to put it. They're on top of each other. And this is a situation. I know there's a lot of debate on what to do with foreign nationals in detention, using the word illegal, right? Some of these people are illegal only because they're in another country, not because they've committed crimes like people in other jails and prisons have. But I think we're even seeing what to do about people in jails and prisons. Are they being let out? Are they not? That's a big debate question. But on folks that are just being detained because they overstayed a visa, do we really need to keep them here? That's a question I have. No solution is my answer, but I think it's a significant question, and I think these people are probably the last people on anybody's minds, right? It's just interesting to think about that as we go into this process, and what we should do about that. So that's an interesting article. Another article by The Hill: Immigration Policy Impedes Efforts to Thwart the COVID-19 Virus. Again, they're talking about dangerously overcrowded and adequate hygiene and medical attention at the detention facilities. Really a petri dish for COVID-19 to take off big time through that category. And what about the kids that are being held in foster facilities during these processes? Should they be sent back to their folks at this point or not? I think the human answer is yes, but not my call. But I think it'd be an interesting thing. See Bobby Hacker's out there. Grace Bunner's here again. Good to see you guys. Jason Waugh, Jason Abbey, thanks for tuning in. John Veely, I'm talking about immigration and the COVID-19 pandemic. We're all going through this thing together right now. We're sheltering in place best we can, or we're working with skeleton crews. Interesting times as we go. I think there's good things that come out of this. During this time, I hope you can all stay healthy and stuff like that. Eating dinners with your children. My kids are very active. They're dancers. They're always gone doing something. One plays rugby. The other one's a senior in high school and always gone. Last night we sat around. We had dinner together. We watched The Tiger King. Now, if you haven't seen that, Netflix show, The Tiger King, is about the best thing I've seen in a long time. Joe Exotic and all those involved in the big cat world. It's better than you couldn't make it up, is all I'm saying. So take a look at that crazy thing. It's been a lot of fun. Seen a lot of good shows. The Hunters with Al Pacino playing a Jewish Nazi hunter. The morning show is fantastic. What a great show that is. So get in your binge watching right now. Be safe in all those ways. If you have any questions for us, ask them. We're going to compile these things. We'll put them up on our website. There's a lot of people here that are worried about what happens next and what to do. Some of it we know, some of it we don't know. Immigration has been vague at best on what they're going to do, but in a nutshell, if you're an employer and you want to, and you can't be open, all right, you do not have to terminate your employees, right? You can put them on unpaid leaves of absence. Make sure you documented that they are, it's because of the COVID-19 virus. If you have to fire them, make sure you say it's because of the COVID-19 virus. There's going to be some things up all the time. I've seen a number of things, but they're not really formed yet about whether or not just being quarantined may make you eligible to get some sort of unemployment insurance. But look at that stuff and check. You can ask us questions specifically if you want to know more about that. We'll dig in for you. If you're running out of status, and you can't go home, it's probably going to be okay. Just make sure that you document it. If you tried to get an airplane ticket and you weren't able to because your flight got canceled, keep that. All right. So the little things you can use, the paperwork you can do, that's the best thing I can suggest to you right now. If you have any more specific questions, again, onlinevisas.com, ask us questions, and go from there. We'll sign out now. We'll keep these things going. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to us. I don't know if this is entertainment. Doesn't quite feel like it, but I hope the information's been helpful, and I'm glad to keep providing it. Take care. Be safe. See you soon.